far below. Para's face was bland, its skin a shade lighter than Trey's, smooth and unwrinkled. Its hair was trimmed down to a reddish-brown fuzz, its smile mild and inoffensive. Trey was fascinated with the android's eyes, gray-green optronic visual sensors that could see far into the ultraviolet and infrared ends of the optical spectrum. They could spot a coiled rattler several hundred meters away. "Have you seen enough?" Para asked. Trey shook his head. "Can we go into some of the buildings? There's nothing to see inside them. They were all emptied centuries ago. Still, I'd like to see what they're like inside." Para gestured with one hand. "This way, then." It led Trey between two of the structures and through a doorway in the side of one of them. They both had to duck slightly to get through. "They must have been pretty short," Trey said. "Average height among them was slightly less than 150 centimeters." They stepped into a roughly square room, completely empty, its floor swept clean of dust and detritus. "Not much here," Trey admitted. "I am curious," Para said. "Why did you want to see this complex?" The beginnings of a smile crept across Trey's face. "I didn't think curiosity was built into you." "It's not," Para answered easily enough. "I merely used the phrase as an introduction to my question." Trey spread his arms as he said, "This is one of the oldest human structures in North America. Why shouldn't I want to see it? You are curious." "I guess I am." "Interesting." Trey almost laughed. "They say that curiosity killed the cat, but in my case, it saved my life." "And you feel grateful for that?" "I feel guilty," Trayvon admitted. Para made a very human nod, but it said, "We've spent just about as much time here as we can. We should be getting back to Denver for your meeting tomorrow with the psychotechnical staff." A New Life. While the sun slipped down toward the distant horizon, Para led Trey back down the narrow precipitous steps to the floor of the valley and the air car they had left there. As they climbed into the sleek, bright-skinned vehicle, Trey said, "I've always wanted to fly one of these birds." Para shook its head. "The passengers do not operate this vehicle. It is operated by the control center, nearly 1,000 kilometers away from here." Trey nodded resignedly. "So I couldn't kill myself even if I wanted to." "Do you want to?" Para asked, without the slightest hint of alarm. Shaking his head, Trey replied, "Hell no, I'm not crazy." As Para swung the car's hatch shut and pressed the button that indicated they were ready for flight, the android said, "Sometimes people who have escaped a tragedy that killed everyone they knew eventually try to commit suicide." "Not me," said Trey. "They feel guilty that they survived when so many others died." "Not me," Trey replied, more emphatically. Para fed the young man's response into its data file and leaned back in the softly unfolding seat. Sitting beside the android, Trey leaned back too, seemingly relaxed. The aircar buzzed to life, rose some 10 meters above the grassy valley floor, then accelerated gently into a climbing curve that aimed it slightly east of due north, above the bare granite peaks of the Rockies, toward the greater Denver complex. Folding its hands on its lap, Para said gently, "The visual sensors in your bedroom show a good deal of REM movement in your eyes while you are sleeping. You appear to be dreaming quite a bit." Gazing down at the bare gray-brown peaks below them, Trayvon said, "I have dreams, yes. Recurring dreams?" Trey turned and looked at the android. It appeared perfectly human, relaxed, but something in those calm, gray-green optronic eyes spoke silently of a purpose, a goal, a reason behind its bland questioning. Almost Trayvon smiled to himself. "Para's a machine. It's doing what it's been programmed to do. Don't get angry at it." "The dreams aren't all the same," he said calmly. "Not recurring. But they all deal with my life aboard the Savior and the ship's destruction." "A swarm of micrometeors," Para said. Knowing the android was pumping his memories, Trey nodded. "Micrometeors, yes. That's the most popular theory for the cause of the explosion. Supposedly they were moving so fast, and there were so many of them, that they overwhelmed the ship's shields and destroyed it, and killed everyone aboard except me." "You weren't aboard the ship." "I was in a pod on the other side of the star system. I was being punished." Para fell silent. "It already knows the whole story," Trey told himself. "It's just trying to get into my mind."